Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a special edition on TV 15. The gentleman next to me, Rich Avery. It's only fitting that we should be the first two to step on this brand new Manning Field that we're getting to show you here on TV 15. The workers did a tremendous job. It almost looks like a brand new facility with a brand new field. Workers did a tremendous job. This is great. Rich Avery, what a tremendous job.
They did a very good job. Yeah, it does feel nice being out here. And I know me and you spend a lot of time over here together. But those guys did this job 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week in that scorching heat.
Oh, God.
So, if it's 90 degrees outside the stadium, it's 110 in here. So I applaud those guys because they worked their tails off.
They certainly did. It's only fitting that you and I should be the first ones to step on this new field. Rich, next to me is the keeper of the keys. He takes care of this field and the other field, all on the scheduling and stuff. And Rich, people don't understand. They say, I go back when Manning Bowl ran this way, where the parking lot is now behind it. It used to be Manning Bowl. And that started to fall apart. That was brick all the way around. And that started to fall apart. Then we came in, and I was on the committee that ran all over the state. We went and we said, we like the sod here, we like the track here, we like the elevator there. We took bits and pieces from all over the state, put it together. I remember the first day we did a show out at midfield with Chipper Clancy was the mayor there then. And that was probably the best committee I've ever been on, because everybody on the committee had an agenda. Papuana, high school, football, track, everybody had, what about my kid? But everybody said, what about all the kids? Nobody really fought for their one spot. The big thing was get this done right, and it was done perfectly the first time.
Yeah, it goes to show you when you get a bunch of Lynn guys together for the better of Lynn, what happens. I mean, this place is a beautiful facility. We have a lot of events like MIA tournament games, and we got a lot of other different towns coming in, and they even say, wow, I never knew this was here. So people remember the old bowl and the concerts back in the day, but this is a state-of-the-art facility when it was built in 2008.
Well, there are people in Lynn who still don't understand, like, how can this place fall apart? It's turf, and Gillette's been around for a long time, and Fenway for a long time. But you look at this place, this is the only place, probably, never mind the North Shore, probably in the country, where you have 5 high schools. That automatically means 10 soccer teams, 5 football teams, not to mention, and you can mention, all the other events that go on here.
Yeah, fall sports season is definitely the busiest season over here. We have, 10, like you said, 10 soccer teams, boys and girls, 5 football teams, a field hockey team now with St. Mary's has the field hockey in the fall, as well as youth football, cross-country track. We do some cross-country events with Joe Abalon over here. And then, anything else that we can fit in. We got a couple men's soccer leagues that play here some nights. We have flag football. So it's definitely it's probably one of the busier stadiums in Massachusetts or anywhere, I would gather.
And you have involved in all the schedules, and you look at this and say, okay, we make the schedule, teams are going to play. So now Rich Avery's job is just to sit in the press box, in the box, watch the games, and get paid for virtually nothing. But nobody really understands, if there's one game that can't be played here, it's impossible to reschedule it with everything that's going on. It's very how do you squeeze everything in if you get a snowstorm or somebody cancels out or you can't play a game? You have to go back. The game was supposed to be played maybe in September, might not be played until November.
Yeah, I mean, it gets tricky with any type of cancellation or anything like that. It gets kind of tricky, but working with the athletic directors, they're great. They know exactly what goes on, if there's a cancellation, what we have to do, who we got to get in contact with. It's not just a thing like, if you get canceled on a Monday, you can play on a Tuesday. It just doesn't happen that way.
It happens that way in Salem or Peabody.
Right.
Because they got one team, one field. But with so many teams and the young kids playing flag football, men's flag football, they'd always spread it out across and make 3 fields for them to play 1, 2, and 3 flag footballs. There was a Sunday night was men's soccer, and it just people thought I was crazy when I was saying 24/7 here.
Yeah, it's pretty much 7 days a week. 8 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, 7 days a week. Barring a few open spots here and there, but yeah, definitely, it definitely gets its juice, and that's why the turf was put in when it was originally built in '08, and it definitely was past its prime. It definitely needed a facelift.
It took an awful lot. This was not cheap. This cost some money. It took a while to get ready to get the funds available to put everything together, and now people can look at this and say, as we're panning around, letting people get a look at the field, and when they come here themselves, they're looking to say, "Wow, it's like a brand new stadium."
Yeah, it really did. It came out beautiful. As far as the funding goes, the former Mayor McGee, worked tirelessly to get the funding available, and then our new Mayor Nicholson, he's been a great help, a great asset into securing any more funds that we needed to go, to make this still a top-notch facility. The field itself, talking about it in the early stages. The original field was only lined for football and soccer, but with lacrosse and field hockey, we had to add a few more lines, so it's a little more colorful this time around. But it makes it easier for us in the DPW not to line it with spray paint and now they're permanent lines, so we don't have to worry about that.
And of course, St. Mary's has rugby too.
Yes, St.
Yeah.
Mary's has a rugby
So
team.
a rugby team. People, when we had our all-star pie at the end of the year, people saying, "How many sports are there?" I had to tell them they have a rowing team too. And luckily, the rowing team doesn't come in here, but everybody else does. But you look back and all the games that were played here, all the games were played at Manning Bowl, and it's nice. The field was supposed to be I think it's supposed to be every 10 years, be updated and correct and stuff. It took a little longer than that because the funds just weren't available, but Tom McGee, who was a great mayor, we miss him dearly. He was a great senator, a great staunch supporter of Lynn. He just did anything he could to help the kids.
Yes, he did. He was, he's a sports guy, so he was constantly. We talked a lot before we even secured the funds on, different ways that we could get them, whether it's a grant or this or that. And I'll tell you, it was a long time coming, and you're always hesitant until it actually happens, But it happened, and it turned out beautifully.
Well, I came in a couple of times looking through the fence. I couldn't get inside, but you've been around here watching it progress, and it must. You keep looking and saying, "Looks better now. Looks better now," and I just keep improving. All of a sudden, you say, "Wow, did you ever think it would come out like this?"
No, when they first tore the old turf up, it's got the gray sand underneath, and it looked barren, and there's equipment out here, but I'll tell you, they made quick work of this field, and the intricacies of what they did with the lines and all that stuff. It was actually fun to watch it, keep coming to fruition.
It's one thing to come out here, rip the turf up, and put new turf down. Some people do that in their backyard. But to come out here, put the turf down, and put all the intricate lines, like each individual yard marker, the 40-yard line, the soccer lines, the rugby lines, the lacrosse lines, put all the lines, soccer lines in the end zone, to put all these things down and get them picture perfect is outstanding.
Yeah, it was quite the process. I mean, laying the green, the grass down, so to speak, was the easy part. It's putting in every single one of these little lines in that like I said, these guys were out here for weeks, just doing that, in that scorching heat.
And one little spot, one little shot, go right, go left, you could foul the whole thing up and say, "Wait a minute, we're going to do it all over again."
Oh, that's why we leave it to the professionals. Those guys would definitely know what's going on, and they're very good at their job.
So it's funny, Rich, because I go back. I've been blessed. I've been able to hang around for a very long time. I go back to when Manning Bowl, as I mentioned, went this way, right through the parking lot that's over there now. And I watched a lot of games, and I watched Thanksgiving games being played on the road because the English side of the stadium being shut down, only sit on the classical side, and there was a lot of problems with Manning Bowl with concrete falling down, lights going out, and then they finally had to say knock that down, and when they put the new one up, everybody looked and said, wait a minute, it's going the wrong way. But now they put this up, and I was surprised and grateful of what everybody did. So I've been around for all of this. Manning Bowl, the first of these, now this one. It's been a blessing for me to go through all of this, and what a blessing for the kids and the people in the city that play on these. Other places have got nowhere near facilities like this.
Right, yeah. I mean, like you said, the old bowl. So the old bowl went this way, and I don't think there was a single parking spot to be had, maybe over by the old Little League field over here. But with it going this way now, we have over 300 spots over here and another 50 over here. And it just made for a better fit. That was before me, but they definitely, the board that you were on, the stadium commission that we were on, or you guys were on, definitely thought this out the right way, and like you said, it came out beautifully.
Well, like I said, we went all over the state. We went to each individual park. We went to East Boston. We went to other places out in Western Mass, and looked and said, the high jump turf, the spot, the trench, the lines here, the elevator there, the stands here, what this looked like, and we took, like I said, a piece from here and a piece from there and a piece from there, and I remember they had a sign way over there saying Agganis Complex, named after obviously great Harry Agganis. It had names of the individuals on the committee. I didn't know that. So I would walk around, and while they were doing this, people would say, how are they doing? I'd say, well, they're doing this, they're doing that. But then when it all came together, I said, I was on that committee. I didn't realize the names were over there. I was very proud to be on that committee, and I said, yeah, I had part of that. And it was great to be a part of that. And they were great people that only thought of what was great for the entire city, not the individual sports. And like I said, I hope the kids eat this up. I hope they're happy and content and to come out here. And when it's going to be nice when you see visiting teams come here and they walk in and go, oh my God, especially if you're here last year or the year before, seeing it kind of being underground, and now walk in and see like Hollywood and Vine. Yeah, it's going to really put Lynn on the map.
Yeah, definitely. Like the turf itself, it just looks so much brighter, and that other turf had definitely worn out its welcome. I think there was a 12-year warranty on that original turf, and we were going on 14 years. So, and with and that's 12 years like on a normal. In a normal place that doesn't get as much wear and tear.
Yeah, it doesn't have 5 high schools.
Right. So, with that being, we got this one. This is a new 15-year warranty on this turf. It's the same stuff at Gillette Stadium. They wanted to do the best. If we were going to redo it, we wanted to do it as best as we could. So, like I said, it came out fabulous. I can't wait for the fall season to start.
Well, you look at this and you compare this to other places around, like Salem is up the street, Swampscott's around the corner. Swampscott just did a great job doing their field over. And when they did that, people were saying, well, how come Lynn is this down in there? Well, Swampscott has 2 soccer teams, 1 football team, and they play a couple of games a week. And as we mentioned, there's like 3 soccer games going on here, Monday through Thursday. There's doubleheader football games, and sometimes there's a soccer game before that. There's soccer games and football games on Saturday. There's, like men's coming in playing soccer on Sunday. Swampscott, Salem don't get anywhere near the use that this field gets.
Yeah, definitely not. I know that I don't know how other cities use as far as like off hours, but this place is open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 2:30 to use the track. And there's a lot of kids from the schools during the summer that come here and train on the turf. We don't bring out the nets or anything like that, because then we'd probably have a 200-person, soccer game or anything like something like that. But other than that, like they come here and they work, they're working out, and they're they're doing the right thing. They treat the place the right way, and the kids are very gracious that they can come in here and work out. I love seeing them coming in working out and seeing them as little freshmen and growing up to being big giant seniors. And you see them coming in, and they got that they got that spunk to them where they want to get better, and what better place to do that is right here.
Well, it's great, as I mentioned, you and I be the first two on here, and we're one of the very few people in the city who get to see these kids. You coach Little League, you coach Babe Ruth, we'll get into that in a minute, but you see these kids from Little League. I see them from, I start with them, we do games here, and I don't think any other cable company does what we do. Little League, Babe Ruth, Pop Warner, we did games. We move up the line, we do the freshmen, we do every sport, hockey, softball, baseball, basketball, football. I watch these kids grow from here to here, like you just said. I get to know them. I follow them through college. They come back. We got people now who are policemen, firemen, teachers, working in the city, people who give back to the city, people who are on the school committee, counselors, reps, senators, superintendents, teachers, who all started playing on the old Manning Bowl and here and playing sports in the city, and they have to be pretty proud of all of this too.
Yeah, I think that's what Lynn's kind of all about, right? I mean, we, us old timers, me and you, we
better way to go to catch up to me.
We see these kids coming in here, and as little kids, whether it be Pop Warner or Flag or the youth track and field here in the summer, and then a couple years later you see them, their name in the newspaper every day, and you see them here at night, and they're big grown men by then, and then you start seeing them coming back with their own kids when they're little kids.
That's when I know I'm getting old. I remember saying, I coached CYO for a long time. I remember saying, I coached that kid in CYO that's running for a touchdown. Then I said, I coached that kid's father. When I got to say I coached that kid's grandfather, I knew I was getting a little bit old and long in the tooth. But I got to know, and the beauty for me is, like, I see all these kids that made their marks on these fields. Like yesterday I was in Stop and Shop, and the kid stopped the car, went over and shook my hand and said, "Hi, Mr. Hoffman." He finally told me who he was, because I said, unless you're wearing a uniform with a number on it, I don't know who you are. But all these kids, I made more friends than you have also over all these years. It's been phenomenal.
Yeah, it's definitely. I love my job, so I'm here every day during the high time, I should say. In the winter I go over to City Hall and hibernate over there. But seeing kids come by here every day, even whether it's passing through or if they're working out or whatever, it's fun to see them grow up and become responsible adults and contribute back to the city of Lynn as well.
You got someone that work for you here.
Yes, I have. There's been a couple kids who, I run the city summer job program too. So a lot of those kids that play sports, they play here, they work here, and then they grow up and become young adults, and they're like you said, they become firefighters and policemen and teachers and everything else. So it's fun to watch.
I might mention also, while we're talking about sports and what's going on, is the gentleman next to me was just coming back from a trip to Virginia with the Babe Ruth team that all they did was go undefeated through the season, through Massachusetts, through the New Englands. They won their first 3 games in the World Series in Virginia, and this gentleman had a tremendous opportunity, as did Coach Peterson, to be there with their sons, being part of the baseball team that really represented Lynn and did a great job representing the city, the town, the parents, themselves, their team, their teammates. It had to be a great trip, and what a great thing for the city of Lynn.
Yeah, it was. It was a fun summer. It was a long, hot summer, but it was one that I'll never forget. We had, like, our coaching staff, the manager, Leon Elwell, Lynn firefighter.
Great job.
Fantastic coach. I consider myself a pretty good baseball coach, and the amount of stuff that I've learned from him just over the last 2 years has been, crazy. Myself, who works for the city, John Peterson, who's lived in the city his whole life, he was another coach, and then Kyle Candelaria, who just graduated from Lynn Classical. 18 years old, has worked for me here for the last 3 years. Is actually over there right now working in the concession stand right now. He was our fourth coach. At 18 years old, the kid's got a leg up on me and Leon and John
That's for sure.
because he
Great
started,
teachers.
Yeah, he started way before us, and he's already a fantastic coach. He's got the respect of the kids and everything else. So it was definitely a fun summer, a long summer. But I keep telling people I had a front row seat to watch my kid play in the World Series. All the way through the states up to the World Series. We played 18 games and won 16 of them, and it was a fun ride.
Well, we also have to mention there were a lot of people. As usual, the city got behind everybody. You needed funds to do that, and they got behind. And you had a lot of people. Your wife was one of them. Some of the other wives got involved and helped with the funds. A couple of events went around the city, and all of a sudden, it's a miracle. It's something the kids are never going to forget. It's something you can tell their kids and their grandkids, and it's something you can go through with your kid and your grandkids as he gets older. It's just a tremendous thing, and what a great thing for the city. And the city has had many moments like this over the years with our young athletes.
Yeah, I mean the city of Lynn was. I mean, I was floored at the support that we had. Whether it was donations or we had a send off at City Hall one day, and that was I thought it might be something little out front in front of the City Hall. It turned out to be there was a ton of people there. Everyone was music going. Just all the support. When we were there back home, they had watch parties at all the local restaurants, and we were getting pictures from that, and we had a good crew of people down in Virginia with us. I guess I haven't watched the games yet, but I am gonna, when I have a minute, watch those games. And I guess the announcers were saying that Lynn definitely rolls deep. We had the most people there. We were the loudest, respectfully loud, but we were the loudest people there. And the kids could sense that, and they played well because of that.
Another great moment for Shea Newhall.
Shea Newhall was, to say he was on fire was an understatement. The kid is, quiet kid, but I'll tell you, I've never seen a pair of hands on someone like he has. He just put the bat on the ball, and he just put it where they weren't every time, pretty much every time.
And he was voted to the All-World Series team.
Yeah, I think he led the World Series in batting average. And when I say there was a bunch of good teams there, a bunch of good hitting teams. If I think that was our one downfall, we didn't hit up to our ability as a team, but Shea certainly helped the cause.
And I think you had Jennings, the catcher. Was it Lara, the outfielder, who made the all-defensive team?
No, it was Kyle Cummings is our catcher. He was a rock all
I guess so.
through the whole tournament. Throwing guy, and his arm was sore. He caught all those games. I caught every single inning of every game. So he was our rock behind there. And then Jared Payon at third base, as well as pitching. He had a great outing on the mound. One of the wins. All three of those kids were great kids anyway. They're going to be great adults as they grow up, I'll tell you that.
And a lot of those kids are going to be kids that we see out here and running around doing other sports as they get a little bit older. They were 15-year-olds. The 14-year-olds had a pretty good run as well. And now we talked about all of this going on here at Manning Field, all the brand new field. Don't go away because we move over to Frazier Field.
Yeah, it's scheduled to start being torn up on this September 6th, so next Tuesday they'll start over there, and we'll have a brand new, bright, shiny field by the early spring.
You look at that and you say, look at this and look at the baseball field. There are colleges who would like to have these facilities.
Yeah, like I said, you get a lot of towns coming in to play their away games here, and we get it all the time. We're like, wow, I can't believe this is in Lynn. And I say, well, what do you mean? Why don't you think it's in Lynn? But like I said, they're two great facilities. For me, I just try to keep it up as best as I can, and hopefully the people enjoy it.
Well, you look over at the baseball diamond, and people say, well, that's a little bit easier because there's only 5 baseball teams. But on top of that, you got the Navigators who play there during the summer. You got some Legion teams that might play games there. Babe Ruth plays some of their games there. Other games are played there. College plays there. That's used almost as much as this is.
Yeah, it is. I mean, 5 baseball teams on one field is tough to do. As well as we got Fisher College in there, who they've been fantastic working with them over the last 10 years. They actually just signed another 10-year lease to use the field. The coach Scott Doolan is a great guy. He's also the athletic director, and he just operates the right way. He comes in and treats the field with respect, and the college itself contributes a bunch of money to the field, so that helps. And he promotes, he promotes the city of Lynn as well as, the fields itself.
There were some kids from Lynn that played on that team for a while too. That was done by accident. I mentioned to you, John Kasayan, your predecessor, for taking care of these fields, and myself was sitting in the stands at Fraser one day, and Coach sat next to us and said, "What a great facility, I'd love to be here." And we talked about it. We found out when he played in practice, we said, "You could be here, there's nobody here at that time." And he came in and he paid money, and a lot of additions over there, a lot of upgrade over there has been done. And that's when people ask me why is Fisher College on the scoreboard. I say, well, if you gave as much money as they did and donated the time and effort they do, we'd put your name up there too.
Yeah, I would consider them what I always call them, a model tenant. Like, there's someone that, like, they don't leave anytime they're there, and they're there often. Like early spring, Scott is one of those guys that he wants to get out there as soon as he can. So as soon as it's possible with the weather, he's out there, and they don't leave a speck of trash. Like you said, he's done a bunch of upgrades to the dugouts, all the screens that they use on the field during practice. They've paid for. They paid for relamp these old poles over there that hopefully are getting done with the new field as well. So we'll have new lights over there. So, but no, Scott as well as the Navigators. I mean, the Navigators too. They've been fantastic too. It's a great take for the city of Lynn. If you want to take your kid to a ball game and not spend $500,
a lot cheaper than Fenway Park.
Yeah, and see good baseball. It's it's very good baseball, and it's a fun night out in the summer.
Yeah, well, we've run the gamut from Manning Field to Fraser Field to Old Manning Bowl, and we gave us a little bit of publicity to those outstanding Babe Ruth people. I would have to mention it. Jeff Earp, we hope he's okay. He's had a little bit of a health problem. We hope he's up and around. The president of the league, he does a tremendous job. He doesn't have a kid in the program, but you wouldn't know that because he's around. He does all the work. He dots all the I's, crosses the T's, makes sure everything gets done right. You got Dave Raymond, who's down there cutting the grass, mowing the lawn, dragging the infield, putting the lines down. A lot of people do a lot of work, and they get zero. You couldn't, if you had to pay those people, you couldn't afford it.
No.
But Jeff Earp is the guy that oversees all of that, does a tremendous job, and it's a program that most people, unless you drive by it, you don't even know it exists because they don't get much publicity.
Right, yeah, no, I mean, you think about those two guys, Jeff and Dave, both don't have kids in the program, no skin in the game, so to speak, and, those guys are down there every day. Dave is, he's an animal. He's down there every morning cutting the grass, raking the field, grading the field. And Jeff, his health has declined a little bit, so he's not as much on the field, but, everything else he's involved with to take care of to make, make that league as best it can. Our baseball numbers in general are down, whether it's Little League or everything else, but last year in Babe Ruth we had over 160 kids in our league. So I think Babe Ruth's alive and well. We had 8 teams down there, and any given night we were down there playing. Obviously, it showed. All 3 All-Star teams had good runs leading up to the World Series run.
Well, you also look at Dave Raymond and Jeff Earp. They took over the handling of the Holland tournament when the Holland family had to bow out. They kept it going. They keep it going. And Dave is down there making sure the field is presentable. He does it for the 3 high school teams that play there. He goes down there and puts the lines down, puts the batter's box in, cuts the grass over there. So those guys do a tremendous job, and nobody even knows they exist. And we've got a lot of great people in the city who do a lot of great work for the kids. And you're one of them, my friend. Congratulations.
Dave's also my right-hand man over here at Manning Field, too. So any night we have games, or, if I'm out, my kids are playing hockey, and they're all over the map. So if I'm out of town or something like that and I need someone to go over there, Dave, I just have to make one quick call to Dave, and he's over here helping me out. So Dave's been, one of – everyone needs a Dave. Let me just say that. Everyone could use a Dave in their life, because Dave makes it easy. And the guy, I've never seen someone work like Dave does.
Well, he loves the kids. He's been involved for a very long time. He keeps threatening to retire, and he keeps coming back, and thank God he does. But we got a lot of great people like Jeff Earp and David Raymond, all those people at Babe Ruth, and you've done a great job, my friend. You do a great job here, and the city is blessed to have you. Everybody's wondering, John Kasayan's retiring. What's going to happen to Manning Field and Frazier Field? And in stepped in John Kasayan, number 2, Dave Chavery, who does a great job here. We're thankful we have you, and you do a tremendous job.
Thanks for always supporting me and the city of Lynn. The kids are just as lucky to have you with your, that I had never really known about the All-Star selections that you do, the Hoffman Awards, and to acknowledge all those kids, like that many kids, and you, you know them all, and you're just another one of those Lynn guys that gets it.
Yeah, that's for sure. We're blessed with a lot of great people. So when you come here, you'll see a brand new Manning Field, and pretty soon you'll see a brand new Frazier Field, and all those teams, we hope they enjoy it. We hope the coaches enjoy it. We hope the fans enjoy it, and we get started. This being Thursday, the last day of August, next Tuesday, we'll be right back here, and we'll be starting out with the Lynn soccer tournament here. We'll be going full blast with football going on, and we'll get right back in the thick of things, and I can get off the couch now and get back to work.
Something to do.
And Rich can get back to work as well. We hope you enjoyed this program. We hope you gave an insight. And again, it's only fitting that the 2 of us became the first 2 to step on this brand new field. We hope everybody enjoys it. The city of Lynn deserves it, and only the city of Lynn could have done this for the kids in the city. I'm John Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.